Today we have with us Greg Anderson, 4-time NHRA Pro Stock World Champion, to talk to us a little bit about drag racing, or rather the lack of. Greg, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. We're making it. We are making it. So, as a racer, have you been dealing with all this downtime? We got to know.
Well, unfortunately, we haven't been able to act much like racers lately. It's crazy times. Ever since the Doorslammer Nationals back in March, we've been home. We've been at the shop for a couple of weeks working until the governor shut down our state. And then I've been at home working on all those projects that my wife says I never could get done in the past. You know, drag racing is kind of a 24/7 deal to race this Pro Stock class. So we don't get much time to work on our yards, our cars at home. And I've caught up on every bit of it. I got the cars all in tip-top shape, thanks to Summit Racing Equipment. A lot of FedEx deliveries, and I've got all the cars and it's spiffed up. New set of wheels on the wife's car from Race Star Wheels. And the cars are great. Now I'm on yard projects. And I'm telling you, I've got, I think, the best-looking yard in the neighborhood. I'm expecting Fox Sports to come by anytime and video this place and say, wow, I wonder who lives here. Crazy.
You're getting caught up.
I want to see that.
Hopefully, I think we're all pretty confident in early June, restart date for the NHRA schedule with everything that's going on with all the states reopening up. Getting back to Pro Stock racing, and they changed the point systems given the shortened schedule. Kind of, did you like to switch back to the old style of points where it's a cumulative as opposed to the countdown to the championship?
I actually do. I've said that ever since we switched to the playoffs type scenario. I like the old way. I just feel, and I've always felt, that if you're going to be the world champ, you need to prove to the entire course of the year that you can win at every type of racetrack, every type of weather condition, every type of racetrack, any kind of altitude conditions, anywhere. You got to be strong really over the whole deal instead of just a small grouping of races, and that's kind of what we have in the countdown. We have pretty much similar type weather conditions. It's cooler that time of year, and really honestly, it's just a small sample of what the class really is. It also, I think, diminishes from the rest of the regular season, where it makes some of the other races maybe not so important. And I'm just guilty. I find myself saying several times, if I make a mistake, oh, well, doesn't matter till the countdown. Doesn't matter till the countdown. Well, guess what? It's countdown now when we start back up in June. So I like that. I love that. I think that's the way things should be. And it's just going to be an expanded countdown. That's all it's going to be.
That's awesome. This has been a good episode. Because just a powerful response, Greg. And I can't really argue that, because we've seen it time and time again where a racer gets hot at just the right time. And it is. We're in the great mine shaft conditions a lot of the times. It's 60 and 70 throughout the end of the year. And I agree 100%. I want to see a guy, prove that they deserve to be a champion throughout the course of the year. So I'm glad. This is a phenomenal choice to have you on here. That was a powerful way to start, Alex. Good work.
Nice job, Alex.
Wow. Look at us. Look at us go, man. Look at us go.
Arkansas.
So let's talk a little bit about Jason Line retiring in this season and how that looks for him, and kind of like how that's going to change the dynamic of KB Racing. Are you guys looking for a new driver? What's going on?
Well, yeah, everything's still up in the air. The first thing I tell everybody is I figure I got about 8-9 months yet to change his mind. That's goal number one for me. I'm going to try and change his mind because I like things the way they are. And he's obviously an invaluable person at the racetrack. He's great at the shop, obviously. He's, the head of our engine department and the development department of building power. But once we get to the racetrack, he takes care of all the EFI tuning at the racetrack. And that's 80% of the project anymore at Pro Stock races. He takes care of all our customer cars. And I'm not sure what we're going to do there yet. And then as far as a driver, that's another can of worms. Do you go young? Do you go experienced? Do you go, the type of personality that John Force is? Do you go somebody that's more serious about racing? There's just a lot of people that got to answer that question. So we'll get to that when we get to it. But as I say, my first goal is to change his mind.
And you probably have an opportunity to do that, right? Because this would be like, not that maybe this is a great way to go out with this whole calamity that we're enduring together, but it'd be cool to see him have an opportunity to do it the right way. If this is going to be your swan song, you hate to see it be, the train wreck.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's wondering right now, have I sat in a Pro Stock car for the last time already? And I don't think he can live with that. I don't think he can go out that way. So, maybe it'll play in my favor and he'll have to try again and come back next year, depending on how things go this year. But as you said earlier, I think I'm very confident we're going to get restarted June 1st or June 5th in Gainesville, if not very close to it. And it's just, people are getting itchy to get back to work. Obviously, our economy's taking a hit and people need to get back to work. But I think we've all learned so much in the last couple of weeks about what this deal is, what this virus is, how to protect yourself, how to act in public or not in public. And I think that's going to help us all going forward, regardless whether there's a virus out there or not to be caught. So I think we'll all live a little bit different, but I think we know now how to live safer and protect ourselves and protect others. Just in everything we do. We'll wash our hands more. We'll be careful of what we do and careful not to sneeze on anybody or cough on anybody. We kind of got away from thinking about that before. Now we're all thinking about it. So it's going to help us going forward regardless. And I think we're darn close to getting ready to get back out in society.
Well, that's certainly, I hope that's the case. And I'm confident as well. I'm curious, and this isn't necessarily one of our scripted questions, but being that we have a superstar here with us that is used to dealing with legitimate fanfare, I'm serious.
Who's that?
I mean, Greg, can you imagine a scenario? Because you listen to LeBron James in the NBA, and you talk to, listen to some of these Major League Baseball players. They can hardly wrap their heads around the idea of competing, playing their game, competing in front of empty grandstands. Have you started to process that as a possibility, or could you give us some insight as to how that would impact you, not only as a driver, but just as an enthusiast and fan of the sport?
Yeah, that just takes everything out of it for us. I can't tell you how many times I roll out there and I do my burnout and I put the car in reverse, and you've got 10, 15 seconds pretty much to do whatever you want to do. I look up in the grandstands every time and I say, wow, what a crowd today. It's cool. That gets your heart pumping. That gets you jacked up and ready to leave the starting line. So I don't know what I'd do if they weren't in the grandstand. I don't think we could function as a sport without them. We needed to be there. We needed to be there. And I think it's going to be fine. Like I say, we've learned so much more about how to handle ourselves in public and stuff. I think we're going to be fine, and we'll all do the right things, and we're going to be just fine. We're all shook up right now, but I think if you were to look into the globe a week down the road or 2 weeks down the road, we're going to be a whole lot more confident about what we can do and can't do, and ready to go forward. So, spin that calendar forward, and I think we'll be ready to go.
That's certainly the hope. I'm curious, one more off script question that I've got to ask because we've got you here is you talk about how much we've learned. And I agree. I think we've learned a ton as a society, just all the hygiene things and just taking care of ourselves. Has this time at home and time to, because so many, I don't know about you, but you get so wrapped up, you're so constantly in motion that you don't even have the time to maybe fix things or change things because you got to get to the next race. Have you been able to lean on this time to say, hey, we need to do this a little different, or hey, we need to operate this part of our program a little different?
No question. It's given us a lot of time to think. We can't be at our shop working right now, but that doesn't mean we can't think. So we've thought a lot. We've had a lot of time to think, a lot of quality time to think, and got a lot of great ideas. So that day we do step foot back in the shop and start digging in towards preparing for the restart of 2020, it's going to be, everybody going to be full hands on deck, and we got a lot of things to work on, a lot of great ideas. All of us, Jason, myself, Rob Downing, our crew chief, a lot of great ideas on what we can do different with our race cars to make our race cars better. So it's going to be fun when we get back. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be fun. You love it when you come to the shop with a new idea every day, and we got a whole bunch of them. So when we get back, it's going to be neat, and I think we're going to have a whole lot better product with our race cars and our engines when we get back to the racetrack. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the restart of the season.
At what point do you think you overthink some of the challenges and changes? Because the more time you have, the more things have to be going through your head.
That's generally the case, but I think in this case, you've had time to think about it, and then you shut down for the night and you rethink again the next day. So you say, man, maybe that's not such a good idea. So you got time to correct yourself, and you don't jump into making rash decisions. So everything is certainly well thought out, and I don't know, you can make all of the best laid plans in the world, and it just doesn't matter till you put them on a racetrack. You have no earthly idea when you're going to get till you get there, but we got a lot of confidence with the ideas, and that's the way it should be. You should feel great about them, should feel confident and excited to get back to work, and that's absolutely where we're at right now.
Greg, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. Again, to be able to have a decorated champion racer on here as we get this project off the ground, we really appreciate your time. I hope you guys stay safe out there, and my goodness, I hope we get to see you in Gainesville June 5th, 6th, and 7th.
I hope you're right. Thanks, Wes. Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to get back to see y'all in person. I'm counting the days, and I'm telling you, be confident. It's going to happen.